and today we have a special midweek craft episode of Sunday School at Home. Because we are working on our Psalm 23 chapter, I wanted to have a way to help you guys memorize it. I also realized I took our Psalm 23 verses from my newer CSB Bible, but you guys probably all have ESV at home, and I realized you'd have to go back to all the videos to help you memorize it so you can have all the same words. So we're going to continue to learn our Psalm 23 from this CSB Bible, but in the future when we do our newer verses, I'll make sure they're in the ESV translation. So, before we get started on our craft, ask a parent or older sibling to print out our Psalm 23 paper that we're going to be using today. It's in their email or it's on our Facebook St. George's page, and just print this out. And so what I did was leave some spaces to help us memorize the words, and we're going to fill them in as we do our craft. Last week I tried recording this video and we were going to write out everything, and it was just way too long. I started to get a hand cramp. So today we're going to be filling in some of the important words as we do the craft together. And the second fun thing, which is super exciting, I've been planning this for quite a while, is that today we're going to have a fun contest. It's a guessing game kind of contest. A little while ago, one of our parents from the church, our church Sunday school, gave me some money to buy books for our new church library in the Sunday school that we will hopefully be launching whenever we're able to get back together in person. We have a bunch of books already, but I found these really fun new ones. So thank you to Evan Demanis. These were purchased on behalf of Evan, and they are super fun books. They're called Bible Infographics for Kids, and me and my kids have looked through them, and they have all kinds of interesting ways to help us understand things in the Bible more. This one even has a board game, but the pages are really fun. There's lots of really cool information, and the best part is that one of you will get to win a copy of one of these books. So stay with us until the end, and I'll tell you how you guys can be entered to win one of these really fun Bible infographic books. So we're going to go get started. Make sure you have a set of pencil crayons so that you can color, and have a nice either a pencil, pen, or a fine line black marker, and have your printed out copy of our Psalm 23. And we'll go get started on our craft. All right, everybody. I hope you've got your paper printed off and you have some coloring things, preferably pencil crayons, because the way we're going to be filling this in today, we want to be doing it kind of lightly. And if you have a fine tip black marker, that would be good. I don't have a very fine tip, so I'm going to be using just a regular black pencil crayon. You can use a regular pencil, but it will get a little smudged. So a fine tip black marker or pen or a black tip pencil crayon are my favorite options. We're going to start by filling in our words. I have my Bible open to Psalm 23 just in case I make any mistakes. But I want you guys to try and say it along with me to help us memorize these verses. I know it's a lot, and it took me probably a month of saying it every day. So now when we are going to be finished, then you guys will be able to see it every single day and have all the words right there. You can pin it up on your fridge or bulletin board or somewhere in your room. And then that will really help you guys to memorize it when you can see it and read it every morning or every evening or a couple times a day if you want to. So we have Psalm 23, and now the way I've spaced it out is the way that I usually say it when I'm trying to say it from memory. So that's why we have it spaced in a certain way. So Psalm 23, this is the easy part. The Lord is my shepherd. I hope all of you guys got that. So now we're going to fill in shepherd. S H E P H E R D. And if I go too fast, you can pause the video And if you aren't able to make really small letters yet, you can ask a parent to help you fill this in, because we do want your parents to memorize these too. Remember that memorizing scripture is important for everyone. And it's really fun. You could say, "Hey mom, do you remember Psalm 23? Can you say it for me?" Or maybe your dad will say to you, "Hey, do you remember Psalm 23? Let's say it together." And that is really, really fun. And you can also help each other memorize scripture. So, the Lord is my shepherd. I have what I need. He lets me lie down in green pastures. So we're going to be writing lie down. L-I-E, and then make a space for the word down. D-O-W-N. He lets me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. So we're going to write the word leads. L-E-A-D-S. He leads me beside quiet waters. He renews my life. L-I-F-E. Then down here, he leads me along the right paths for his name's sake. So we're going to do the word right, R-I-G-H-T. And then make a space, paths. P-A-T-H-S. Then our next line down. Even when I go through the darkest valley. So we're going to write the word through. T-H-R-O-U-G-H. There we go. It's kind of a funny word, the O-U-G-H. But it says, even when I go through the darkest valley, I fear no danger, for you are with me. Y-O-U. And that's talking about God. He is with us. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. So staff is S-T-A-F-F. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So we're going to write table, T-A-B-L-E. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Anoint, A-N-O-I-N-T. I guess I should have made this space a little bit bigger. Let's see. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Only goodness and faithful love will pursue me all the days of my life. We're going to write faithful. I maybe should have made this space bigger too. So try to do small letters. F-A-I-T-H-F-U-L. Only goodness and faithful love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord as long as I live. So we're going to do the word house. House. And there we go. We have got it all written out. And now you guys will be able to have this up on your wall somewhere so you can read it and try to memorize it. Something I usually do is I cover it up, the part that I'm trying to say, and then I'll show it after I've said it, or if I need help with a part of it. And so you can just cover it up as you're trying to do it. The Lord is my shepherd. I have what I need. And then go down. Oh yeah, that's right. And make sure you go all the way down to try and be able to do it all the way to the bottom with all 6 verses. This is really quite a lot to memorize, but you guys can do it. My kids have done it, which means you guys for sure can do it. It just takes some practice and a little bit of time. So now I'm going to switch over to my pencil. I have this pretty fancy pencil. It's Isla's special pencil that she's letting me borrow for today, because all of our other pencils are too chewed up with teeth marks, and it really bothers me to hold those pencils. So Isla let me borrow hers. And now this is where we're going to do something that maybe is a bit new to you guys. Instead of drawing on the outside sort of edge of our paper where it's still white and free to draw in, we're going to be drawing a background to the letters that we have, and we're going to do it based on our picture. So we're going to be drawing some things like sheep and some water, and I think we're going to draw a beautiful sort of a sky or a sunset, because I don't think we'll be able to draw everything in here. But especially the beginning, it talks about how the Lord is our shepherd. His rod and staff, they comfort me. Those are tools that a shepherd would have. So we're going to draw some things that kind of remind us of the Lord and how we are like his sheep and how he takes care of us and gives us wonderful, calm, and peaceful places to be, and how we can trust in him even when we are going through the darkest valley, which really means when we are going through something difficult or something that we find hard in our life. We know that God is with us and he brings us comfort. So to get started, we're going to pretend, it's going to be tricky. You have to kind of pretend the letters aren't there. And we need to use our pencil very lightly because we want to be able to read this. If you have a black pencil crayon still, that's fine. But I would say a pencil is better to do your outlines, and then we'll fill it in. So right here, I am going to draw our sheep. So I'm just going to pretend like the letters aren't there. You don't need to see this really, really well. It's just sort of a background. So I'm going to draw the sheep's head as a circle, and I'm going to give it 2 little teardrop ears, 1 on each side. And then I'm going to start way up here and give him a big fluffy body. It's maybe right before shearing time, so he's got so much wool. And then a little fluffy cottontail at the back. And I'm going to give him 2 legs instead of 4 because his other 2 legs are hiding behind him. And then I'm going to give him 2 little eyes down here and 2 little nostrils, which are just sort of little C shapes. And I'm going to do a little circle inside my eye circles for sort of that shimmery light. Next, I am going to do a wonderful river to show our quiet water. He leads us beside quiet waters which are safe and wonderful and nice and cool. So we're going to just sort of do a sideways S that goes across. Remember, just do it lightly and it's just in the background. And then we're going to do that same S but bump it up about an inch to make it look like this nice kind of winding river, and then you can make it a little skinnier as it goes away. So there we have our nice quiet water. So we can add in another sheep. I'm going to put a sheep over here, and it's going to look like it's lying down because our verse says, he lets me lie down in green pastures. And the only time a sheep is going to lie down is because it feels safe. And we can feel safe because God is watching over us. So we're going to draw a smaller sheep over here. I'm going to do the same thing with an oval for its head and 2 little teardrop ears. And now to show that it's sleeping, I'm going to do 2 U shapes for its eyes. And you guys can make it kind of funny and do some Z's over here and like one of those little speech bubbles. That's up to you. I'm just going to leave mine like this. And then I'm going to draw his fluffy wool. And I'm not going to give him any legs because his legs are tucked underneath. This sheep is asleep and he's all curled up and he's got a little fluffy tail there. And then down at the bottom, we're going to show the Lord's rod and staff. Those are ways or tools that a shepherd used to help take care of his sheep. So we're going to draw a staff like this with a crook at the end. And this helps remind us that there is a shepherd nearby, keeping watch over his sheep. It kind of looks like a candy cane. And then we can draw a rod, which is like a straight line, kind of like a big stick. There we go. So now we have our sheep. We're going to show that this is a beautiful green pasture by coloring it in green. Next, I'm going to draw a horizon line. So that's just a straight line across. Now sometimes the horizon has a hill on it, but for this picture we're going to draw it straight because we want to make a beautiful sunset, because that just reminds me of feeling so peaceful, and whenever I look at the sunset, it reminds me of God and how good He is. So we have our straight line across. Then we're going to do sort of a rainbow shape to show that the sun is just setting. And then we're going to leave it like that, and we'll color this in with different colors up here. So now I'm finished my picture that I'm drawing, and I'm going to trade, and I'm going to start with a blue pencil crayon. I'm going to start by coloring in the water. So now you don't want to color this in really dark, because remember, we want the words to really stand out so that we can be reminded to memorize this. So what you need to do is hold your pencil crayon really lightly and just go back and forth. And this doesn't need to even be fully colored in. You can leave like some gaps and just do it very spaced out, or you can color it fully in, but just go really, really light so that you're seeing just a hint of color and that you can still see your words. So this is where if you used a pencil to do your fill in the blank words, it might start smudging a bit as you color over it, but don't worry about that. Hopefully you'll still be able to read them and they can still help you memorize Psalm 23. So there, I'm pretty happy with that. You can see there's lots of gaps. I didn't even make it quite to the edge in some places, but that's all I'm looking for, is just that it's lightly shaded in and that we can see that there's some color. Next, I'm going to move on to my sheep. I'm going to give my sheep white wool, and then they're going to have a dark face and legs. So I'm using again my black pencil crayon, and again very lightly, especially because this is so dark, that I'm doing it very lightly to just gently shade in my sheep. So for him, I'll color him in a little bit more to the edges, really nice and light. And then I'm going to color his eyes a little darker so they stand out a little bit more. And then move down to his legs. And then my sleeping sheep, I'm going to color in his face. And color in his ears. And then I'm going to go over his eye shape one more time just to help it stand out and show he's sleeping so nicely. And I'm going to put that one away. And next I'm going to take out, I was going to take out a brown, but my brown is not sharpened. So I guess I'm going back to my black, and I'm going to use that to color in my rod and my staff down at the bottom. You guys can do brown and make these look like they're made of wood, because they would have been made from some sort of wood. And remember again to press nice and lightly. There we go. It's already looking like a really cool background. Next, we're going to hop over to our green. I'm going to use a nice kind of light grassy green because we're going to do our green pasture. And a pasture is a nice, really grassy place where sheep would have eaten. So we're going to start up here and again, color nice and light, and you don't have to make it perfect. It doesn't even need to be right to the edge, and you don't even have to really fully color it in. So fill in all this area. And if your pencil crayon is dark and you're having a hard time making it light, you can just color in these in-between sections rather than going on top of the words. And then you'll still have a similar kind of a background effect. So I'm going to fill mine in all the way across and then jump down to the bottom because the pasture is on both sides of our quiet water, at least in this picture. Let's start here. And it is a lot of work to color all of this in, but it's going to make it look really beautiful at the end. You're going to have like this beautiful piece of art that also reminds you of Jesus and God and what He's done for you and how He protects you and takes care of you. And then once you guys have memorized this, it would be so great if you gave this to somebody as a present. And then not only will they have something beautiful that you have made, they can also use it to help them start memorizing Psalm 23. So it's like a multi-purpose paper. So keep coloring. I know that it is a lot of green. If you need to stop and sharpen your pencil, that's a good idea. And remember to carefully go around your sheep that you've drawn over here. And we're almost finished. If you guys are behind, just pause the video and then catch up and get it started again. So there we go. And now it's looking so good. It's really looking like a background. I really like it. I'm more excited though to even do our sky. And I don't have a yellow, but I'm going to use this sort of a yellow-orange for my sun because the sun does start to look pretty orange when it's setting. You'd have to ask a scientist why it's like that, because I don't know. So color in your sun. And then I am going to use, what color next? I think I'm going to use a very light, I'm going to use this red, but I'm going to do it very lightly. So it's going to be one of those kind of fiery looking sunsets. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but if you saw that picture I posted in one of our videos, then you guys know that the sunsets at our house are amazing. Every single night we see this beautiful, beautiful sky, and it looks like God has just painted such a beautiful picture, which we really love. So often it looks kind of fiery, and sometimes it's really pink and purple. It really depends on the day. So I'm going to do just a bit of red, and then I'm going to get my yellow or orange out again and do that here at the edge and kind of make a transition between the two colors. And it looks really neat. There we go. And remember to do it lightly so that we can still see the words. Next, I'm going to use a bit of this hot pink color. So if you have a pink of any kind, then that's good. And I'm just going to go sort of around the red like this. And one of the most amazing things with a colorful sunset is that the light bounces off the clouds if there's any clouds in the sky. And then they light up and they look like cotton candy. And it's really, really fun. Although then it just makes me hungry for cotton candy. And I never have cotton candy at my house. So next I'm going to use a blue. So this one, this is called Blueberry, which is pretty fun. So you guys could do a dark purple or a dark blue. This one looks a bit purpley, which I kind of like. I'm going to make this go almost to the edge. And your sunset doesn't have to be the same as mine. You guys can pick whatever colors you like. And again, I'm just doing it nice and lightly so we can just get a hint of that color. And almost to the edge, because I'm going to fill in the edge with a different blue that I have. There we go. And then I'm going to use this lighter blue to do the very edge. So carefully fill that in. And you can overlap your colors a little bit as you do them further and further out from the center, and that helps kind of blend them a little bit. Gives them a bit of a transition zone. And you have to do the edges so carefully. I was really crunching up my paper earlier. So try to do them very gently. Maybe also put a bigger paper or like a newspaper underneath your pencil, crayon drawing here, under your paper you have, so that you don't get pencil crayon all over your table or whatever you're writing on. So yeah, see, it gets a bit tricky at the edge, but you don't have to go all the way to the edge. You can leave a little gap if you'd like to. So there we go. We're just going to finish that up. And there we have it, our finished paper. And we have this awesome background picture. I really love this. And I can't wait to see some of yours. I would really love if you guys posted up pictures or emailed them to me in our children's email for the church, children@stgeorgesonline.com. Or if you guys want to post these up in our St. George's Community Facebook group. You can ask your parents to help you with either of those. And that would be a great reminder to all of our friends and all the adults at church that we are learning this scripture together. And I hope that some of them want to learn it as well. All right, everybody, I'm going to tell you how you can do a guessing game and win this copy of Bible infographics for kids. I know that whoever ends up winning this is going to love reading through it all. It's really so fun. Me and my kids, we really have loved it so far. So the way to win is really fun. We're going to have a guessing game about when our chickens are going to lay their first egg. You guys have walked on our chicken raising journey with us from when they were just a few days old and from the time they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we built them a coop, and now they've been living out in their coop for quite a while. And the next exciting thing is that they are going to soon lay eggs. So the way you can win the copy of our infographics book is by guessing the closest day, so the person who is closest to the date that we find our first egg in our nest box. And the hint is that they're going to lay at some time in September. So I've put together a little spreadsheet, and you guys can ask your parents to click the link that's in the email or on our St. George's Facebook page. And what you're going to do is see the days of September. They're all going to be in a list, and then you sign up your name on that list beside the day that you think we are going to find our first egg in our nesting box. And then we're going to let you guys know what the date is when we find that first egg and who the winner of this really fun book is. And then hopefully all of you are going to get a chance to read these books from our Sunday school library. So if you are a regular attender of our St. George's Sunday School, then you have the chance to win one of these really fun books. I'm so glad you guys joined me today. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.